Dual Gen 3 weather restricteds have been used in the past and have performed decently well, but Regulation I has not been kind to the duo. But I saw an interesting team that featured Wo-Chien and Slither Wing, and it placed pretty decent on the stadium ladder, so we're going to be trying out and seeing how well it can perform. This is a very, very, very unique Groudon and Kyogre team. I've never seen anyone like this before. Let's try and break it down. First up, we have the Y-Lens Groudon with the Drought ability to summon the sun and the Terra Fire type, which is allowing the Groudon to resist ice and grass type attacks that would normally be super effective, but also power up the Heat Crash with Precipice Blades, Heat Crash, Will-O-Wisp, and Thunder Wave. So this Groudon, a very unique Groudon set because this is a supportive Groudon set, which we've seen in singles before, but not really in doubles. So Groudon did get access to Will-O-Wisp in this generation, so it can actually go for Will-O-Wisp to be able to burn Pokemon like the Calyx Ice Rider, like the Zamazenta, just Pokemon that are pretty hard to deal with on the physical output damage because they do so much damage with the body press and the Glacial Lances. So being able to burn all those attackers can be very beneficial while having Thunder Wave dual status, which is super interesting, but you're able to go for Thunder Wave into Calyx Shadow Rider so that your Groudon and your Kyogre are able to outspeed because this team doesn't run like Priority Tailwind, for instance. The EV spread, it is one that is supposed to just tank hits as much as possible with max HP, 236 special defense, which gives an extra stat point to its special defense, and then 20 speed with a careful nature. Now, the speeds get interesting on this team because of how many Pokemon are close to the range. The Groudon is 20 speed, which is a point faster than allowing it to outspeed Calyx Shadow Rider after a Thunder Wave. But the big idea is you have the Groudon is actually faster than your Kyogre by 1 point because there are certain situations that's happened with dual primals, that's happened with dual weather in 22 that has occurred, which is going for a Groudon and Kyogre switch in at the same time. And you want to make sure the rain is up because Groudon is more reliant on its ground type moves to do damage. Kyogre really needs the rain to power up its water type moves, and you really don't want to have the sun up when your Kyogre is out. So that's the reason for this Groudon speed stat specifically. Next Pokemon we have is the Assault Vest Kyogre with the Drizzle ability to summon the rain with the Electric Terror type, an interesting defensive typing that's neutral against most types, but it also allows it to resist the electric type moves from Miraidon Raging Bolt while powering up the Thunder that the Kyogre has access to. So you can hit like stuff such as the Water Calyx Ice Riders for a lot more damage with the Water Spout, Origin Pulse, Thunder, and Ice Beam. It is a really unique Kyogre set. I mean, these two restricteds are paired together, which is already unique. And then their sets are really interesting. The Assault Vest allows it to take special hits pretty well. Water Spout and Origin Pulse will do a ton of damage. You have Thunder, which is able to hit the water types and the Terra Waters, and you have Ice Beam to be able to hit the Dragons. So not running a move that can play around the wide guard, but going for just some strong coverage across the board. EV spread wise, you have a pretty bulky Kyogre with max HP, 132 defense to be able to take on physical attacks, 108 special attacks, still does a pretty good amount of damage, 4 special defense, and 12 speed with Modest Nature. Again, as I mentioned before, you want to make sure the Kyogre is slower than the Groudon because you want the rain up in case of the rare situation where you have to switch in both Groudon and Kyogre and the abilities activate. And also the 12 speed does allow the Kyogre to be able to hit a speed stat where it's able to outspeed Calyx Shadow Riders after that Thunder Wave from your Groudon. Next Pokemon, a pretty standard Focus Sash Fluttermane with the Pro Synthesis ability with the normal Terror type that's able to help out against Calyx Shadow Astral Barrage and Moongeist Beam from the Lunalas with Moonblast, Icy Wind, Taunt, and Protect. It's a pretty standard support Fluttermane. You have Taunt to be able to prevent like the wide guards from Lunala as well as the Zamazenta. You do have a way to shut down a Moongeist and the Trick Room stuff. Moonblast is able to do a good amount of damage across the board with its fairy typing that is able to just do a lot to like Miraidon, Koraidon, Paradark, Shadow Rider, and more. Icy Wind for the speed control, so you can go for Icy Wind follow-ups, and then Protect to keep itself around. The EV spread is just a simple max speed and max special attack. It's just a hard-hitting Focus Sash Fluttermane that is supportive to this team. Not really much to say. It is just a great partner next to the Groudon in the sun. The next Pokemon is Wo-Chien with the leftovers to heal itself with the Tablets of Ruin that reduces the damage of physical attacks while on the field with the Fairy Terror type, which is interesting to be able to help out resist the fighting type attacks that Wo-Chien doesn't like Body Press and the close combats, while being a good neutral typing across the board, immune to dragon type moves like the Miraidon Draco Meteor is always pleasant. and then Pollen Puff, Ruination, Leech Seed, and Protect. So we've seen Wo-Chien plus Kyogre do well, especially with the Assault Vest Kyogre, because you have the Tablets of Ruin, you have the Assault Vest that's able to help out on the physical and the special side, and then you have Pollen Puff just to be able to heal your Kyogre so they can stick around on the field and do a good amount of damage with the Ruination as well as the follow-ups, because this Wo-Chien is going to be faster. Ruination is a move that does 50% of the opponent's remaining HP, so if your opponent is at full HP, they do take 50%, which is nice because that just allows Kyogre to get a really powerful attack off, or Groudon to maybe finish the user off. You have the Leech Seed to be able to heal the Wo-Chien itself, and yeah, it is able to be a really disruptive Pokemon. EV spread wise, you do have a number divisible by 16 for the HP stat because you have max HP, and this does give you the maximum amount of leftovers recovery that you can have access to. 188 speed does allow the Wo-Chien to outspeed both your Kyogre and Groudon, not only for the Ruination double up, but Pollen Puff, so you can go for Pollen Puff in the Kyogre if it's weakened, and then go for a more powerful Water Spout that way. And the rest goes into the physical defense with 68 physical defense investment, and the special defense is going to be boosted by that Calm Nature. This allows Wo-Chien to be able to survive the most amount of attacks it possibly can, or give it the best odds to survive attacks, like the Miraidon Dazzling Gleam with the choice specs. You do also have like the Flare Mane Moonblast and then Zamazenta Body Press. This gives it the maximum odds to survive most of those attacks. So it is able to, again, outspeed your restricted Pokemon. Go for that Ruination. Go for Pollen Puff to heal those Pokemon and stick around on the field as long as possible. Next up we have is a Covert Cloak Raging Bolt that prevents it from getting hit by secondary effects from moves such as Icy Wind Speed Drops, the special attack drops from Snarl, and of course the Fake Out Flinches with the Photosynthesis that gives it special attack booster when the sunlight is up, with the Fire Terror type, which allows it to resist super effective Fairy type moves and power up the Weather Ball in the sun if necessary, with Thunderbolt, Thunderclap, Weather Ball, and Protect. It's definitely an interesting Raging Bolt set, but it is one that is able to do a lot of damage. It's able to ignore any Fake Out Flinches and, again, secondary effects that can maybe catch your opponent off guard. The EV spread was maximized to get the max special attack damage output, and then 188 speed does allow the Raging Bolt to be able to speed creep most of the Riolabooms in the format. Otherwise, the rest does go out into bulk. Thunderbolt and Thunderclap are really strong electric type moves. The Weather Ball is interesting because you do have both Kyogre and Groudon, so you can switch up the weather, get a strong water type move or a strong fire type move depending on the situation. So it can definitely be useful there because they might not catch that coverage that the Raging Bolt might be able to threaten. So it definitely has some unique attacks, especially like Weather Ball, Terra Fire, or the Cali Ice, so you can hit them really hard. And of course, you'd be able to hit the water Terra types because you have electric coverage. Final Pokemon on this team is the Life Orb Slither Wing with the Bug Terra type that is able to power up its Bug type moves and get rid of that Fighting type in case of weaknesses such as weak to the Fairy type coverage and the Psychic type moves, with the Photosynthesis that is able to give it an attack booster in the sunlight with the First Impression, Close Combat, U-Turn, and Protect. Yeah, we don't see Slither Wing too much, but it actually does kind of make sense on this team, especially with dual primal. We've seen Golisopod in the past do really well at the 22 World Championship, and it really was a big benefit of having First Impression. A move that if you are on the field for the first turn and it's the first time that Slither Wing is out on the field, you can go for that First Impression. It will have a priority and can threaten a really strong, powerful bug type move that can really threaten a good amount of damage. And that's really useful for Riolaboom because, of course, Groudon and Kyogre are weak to Grassy Glide especially. So being able to go for a First Impression, outspeed like a lot of Riolabooms before they can go for like a Grassy Glide, can be pretty beneficial. It's a Pokemon that can also help out the Wellspring Ogerpon matchup on this team, because you do have restrictors that are just weak to grass types in general, and Wellspring Ogerpon is kind of a mon that kind of walls the Kyogre and the Groudon. So being able to go for the First Impression into a follow-up attack is pretty nice across the board, able to maybe catch some Shadow Riders off guard and more. So does have the potential there. U-Turn is pretty good of a move, especially a pivoting move on a dual weather team to reposition. The Close Combat's able to hit a lot of Pokemon pretty hard in this format, the Dark types, the Steel types, and more. And it is just a mon that's supposed to do a ton of damage. The EV spread just allows Slither Wing to hit the hardest it possibly can with 252 attack. You have 188 speed, which is able to outspeed the max speed Incineroar by 2 points for a speed creep. And then you have the remainder going into HP, which allows you to just be able to have a number that is -1 of a number divisible by 10, so you take the least amount of life or recall. So interesting Pokemon. We'll see if it's able to put in work, but yeah, this team is quite wild. So how to use the team? A lot of it does involve setting up for your Kyogre mainly, because this Groudon is more of a supportive set. You have Willis and Thunderwave. Willis to be able to hit to those physical attackers, that's just shut them down, so Kyogre and Wo-Chien are just able to absorb those attacks with ease. You have the Thunderwave for the speed control against like Shadow Rider, which can be very beneficial, because then the Wo-Chien Kyogre mode can just be able to outspeed, threaten it very easily, and just Pollen Puff heal the damage, which is pretty nice. You do have the Wo-Chien Kyogre again with the option of just going for like Ruination plus Water Spout, Pollen Puff, Leech Seed, and more. So a lot of favorable board positions do involve the Wo-Chien X Kyogre. And then you have a Sun mode, of course. You have the Flutter Mane, Raging Bolt, and Groudon. You do have Flutter Mane, Groudon as a lead for the Photosynthesis. For Flutter Mane, Heat Disruptive, Icy Wind, Taunt, Strong Damage, and Moonblast paired with a follow-up move from Groudon. You have that Raging Bolt mode that can go really strong as well with the dual Weathers and the Weather Balls that can catch him off guard. And you bring the Slither Wing in matchups where it can be favored, especially against troublesome grass types especially. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. And let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite Paradox Pokemon? Not even to use in VGC, I'm talking about just in general, because we are using one of the very unorthodox Pokemon of Slither Wing. And yeah, we don't see it in competitive at all, but we do have one VGC caster that is a huge fan of Slither Wing. So let us see if Slither Wing can even pull its weight on this team. I feel like if there's any team it kind of actually makes sense, it would probably be this one. So let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite Paradox Pokemon in general? Could be for any reason, but otherwise let's get started and play some games. We have Calyx, Shadow Rider, Mousehold, Ditto, Galarian Weezing, Roy Moon, and Zamazenta. I actually know this team because I know David Kutesh posted this team. It's Specs, Calyx, Shadow Rider with Faint Support, Mousehold. Ditto, I don't remember the item. Isn't it Levitate Weezing by mistake? I'm pretty sure it was Levitate Weezing by mistake. So, yeah. What to do with that information? We'll figure it out. They don't have the best Kyogre Flutter Mane match, or the Flutter Mane Kyogre matchup. Or do I just want to go? There's a lot that I could do here. The thing is, I need the Sun in order to outspeed stuff, but I just don't really. I think combination wise, Flutter Mane plus Kyogre does make a lot of sense here. Unfortunately, I don't have Hydro Pump. If I had Hydro Pump, it'd be easier because the Wide Guard's actually pretty threatening. I think I'm gonna just lead Flutter Mane plus the Kyogre. Have Wo-Chien in the back, and I think Groudon. I think it's Groudon. I don't think Slither Wing does much here. It's just, I mean, it's both weird teams, but I don't remember what the sets were on this team that we're facing against. All I remember was Spec Shadow Rider. They have access to Pollen Puff. Astral Barrage is going to hurt out for a lot of damage. Let's see what they decide to lead here. It's going to be the combination of Mousehold, Calyx. That's like a pretty standard lead. All I need is Kyogre to deal with these Pokemon, because otherwise Groudon does kind of beat everything else around them. So that is basically the goal here. Was the Shadow Rider slower than Mousehold? I don't think it was. I mean, I have a Solvest Kyogre, so it's not like the worst if I get the turn wrong. I could go for Terra Normal here, but I could also save the Terra for Wo-Chien. Debating about going for Icy Wind, Terra Normal plus Origin Pulse. I very am much debating about it. I think I'm going to go for the Icy Wind and the Origin Pulse, because I don't need Terra Electric. Even if I Terra Wo-Chien, it's still kind of weird because I don't think I need it to beat Zamazenta. So I think this is probably okay. We go for the Terra Normal. So we're immune to the Astral Barrage, so we can get this Icy Wind off guaranteed here, which is important. We see a Terrassalization on their side. It's a slower Terrassalization. We go for it on the Shadow Rider. Into Ghost. Okay. Oh, so the Mousehold is faster than the Calyx Shadow. I didn't know that confirmed until now, but it looks like that is the confirmation here. Okay. They go for follow me though, so that's perfectly fine. They didn't go for super fang. My Kyogre will eat the attack because we do have the assault vest. We get the icy wind off. Beautiful. Good damage. And we get an origin pulse off as Astral Barrage comes out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If we hit the origin pulses, we're in great shape. So as you can see, we don't take too much damage with Kyogre there. Origin pulse is going to be fired off. Big damage. He actually KO'd a Mousehold. I don't know if I wanted to KO a Mousehold. I guess that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. All right, who did I bring out next? Ditto, Moon, Dama. They're all okay. Yeah, but that's a slow Shadow Rider, so I don't have to fear it as much. Okay. I think this is probably Zamazenta, unless they want to switch into Shadow Rider into Zamazenta, but they would be taking a lot of damage. Although I don't know what they would really bring in. That's the thing. It is Zamazenta on that side. Okay. I think I get a free Moonblast plus Thunder off into Calyrex, and I could catch either the Ditto or I could catch... I mean, I catch everything on the Switch. I think we go for Moonblast, and I think we go for Thunder here. Or I could just Icy Wind Thunder. Icy Wind Thunder makes sense too. I think they're going to body press here. I actually like Icy Wind Thunder into Calyrex. I guarantee the KO on Calyrex, and if they switch out into Ditto, they take a bunch of damage. Okay then. Okay then. Not what I expected, but they did have a horrendous turn one, I suppose. But yeah, luckily I didn't know the details about that team, and I'm not sure if they knew the details about mine. All right, we have Miraidon, Whimsicott, Calyrex, Ice Rider, Incineroar, Urshifu, and Landorus Incarnate. This team reminds me of pretty common teams that have done well, especially the Korean national champion winner. This might be the same 6, although I can't tell if it's the same rental code. All right, this is going to be weird. I mean, every matchup is going to be weird with this team. It's just something I'm going to have to accept. I want to go here. Fluttermane's not bad. Fluttermane Groudon isn't terrible. Puts on a lot of offensive pressure immediately, which I do like. Can I do anything with Slither Wing? I guess I could do some damage here. Wo-Chien, okay. It's not like amazing. I guess it could be amazing though if I set it up properly. Do I want Raging Bolt in this game? Probably, because Urshifu's a problem, right? I think Urshifu is annoying. Yeah. They're definitely bringing Miraidon to bring Cali Ice. The last two, I'm not sure. I don't think they're bringing... They could bring the Lando, I suppose. I have so many options, it's just really hard to tell. It's really hard to pick Mons. I think I'm going to go with Kyogre back. Do I bring Wo-Chien or do I bring Raging Bolt? I think I'm going to bring the Wo-Chien. I thought about like all the different combos I can do. Slither Wing could have been something here because of the first impression. Although I'm just really not sure if I really want to try out Slither Wing in this matchup because it's not like it's incredible. First team Whimsicott Cali Ice, which is actually perfect for me as I do lead the Groudon plus the Fluttermane. So I do have Willis on this Groudon, and I will go for Willis into Cali Ice. The question is, what else do I want to go for? Do I want to go for a Icy Wind immediately, which I am tempted to do? I would take a lot of damage. Do they Tailwind immediately? I guess that could be a thing. I'm tempted to go Wo-Chien and just go for a Will-O-Wisp. I could go for Taunt. There's like a lot I could do here. I think my play is to go Wo-Chien and Will-O-Wisp to Cali. Yeah. Because if they Tailwind plus Glacial, I'm worried about that doing a lot of damage to my Groudon. I mean, I'm going to take a lot of damage because I'm going to Wo-Chien. If they don't Tailwind, though, I get the Wisp off before they attack, most likely. Unless they're Terra Fire, but I don't think they'll Terra Fire in the Kyogre team. We are going to see a Terra from the Cali. I imagine this is any defensive Terra, like Water. Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect. That makes a lot of sense to me. So I get the Willis, I get to cover the Terra. That's awesome. Let's see what the Whimsicott went for. Light Screen is perfect. Okay, so if I land this Will-O-Wisp, we're in a great shape. Nice. Beautiful. We land that Willow Swath into Cali, and now the Cali won't be doing too much on the field with the Tablets of Ruin out alongside the burn. So this shouldn't do too much damage at all. Yep. Actually did more to my Wo-Chien than I thought. Okay. But I am chilling. I am chilling here. Okay, beautiful. So they do have a light screen up. I'm going to have to keep that in mind for my Flutter Mane, my Kyogre. I am going to go hard into Kyogre. I could Terra my Wo-Chien, but I would probably... I mean, I want to say the Terra for Kyogre in case I need it. So it should be Miraidon. I'm curious on what the last mod will be confirmed. I'm just going to protect the Wo-Chien, I think, and go on a Kyogre. Because this should probably be like Moonblast Glacial coming out, and that's fine by me if they decide to go for that. I'm going to bring out the Kyogre. We'll get the rain up, and let's see what they decide to do. I do want to have one of Wo-Chien or Kyogre healthy. I don't think I really have to go for water type moves in this game unless Incineroar is brought, unironically. You go for Encore into my Utter which makes sense, into the Willis Groudon, and go for Glacial Lance. So I could have got a Leech Seed off there, or maybe a Ruination, but I mean, Kyogre absolutely eats that up. It absolutely eats that up. All right, what do I want to do here now? Could go for Ruination plus Ice Beam. It's also Encore Whimsicott, which means it's not the Tickle variant, so that's confirmed here. Okay. I can go for Ruination. I could go for Leech Seed. A lot of options that I have here. I don't think I want to use the Terastization. I think I'm just going to go for a Ruination Ice Beam combo into the Whimsicott. Just double checking. Yeah, I think that's probably my best play. Getting rid of Whimsicott so I don't have to worry about Encore is pretty big. I'm going to go for Ruination. I'm going to go for Ice Beam. You go for the Moonblast. They target Wo-Chien. That makes sense. Okay. Does a lot, but I'm acceptable of that. Special attack drop doesn't matter here. Ruination does connect, good. So we get the connection onto the Whimsicott, and Ice Beam should be able to get the KO. I think even on especially defensive Whimsicott. Yep, beautiful. So we do get rid of Whimsicott, although I think I'm losing my Wo-Chien this turn. I think I am. I think the Glacial Lance did 80 if I'm not mistaken. All right, here's the Glacial. Yeah. Okay. That is a little bit annoying, but granted, I don't think this is the worst spot I could be in. It depends on the last two. I'm kind of curious if Urshi's in the back, but I will go Flutter Mane here. Or yeah, I go Flutter Mane because I don't have to go Groudon. Miraidon's going to come out, which is fine. I wonder... I think I could KO the Cali now if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm going to go for a double up into Cali with Moonblast plus Terra Electric Thunder in Electric Terrain. There is the light screen, but let's see if we can get the KO, because I think if we get the KO, we're in actually pretty fantastic shape. So I will go for it here. So we'll go for the Terra Electric with our Kyogre and have access to that Thunder boosted, as Moonblast will come out into the Cali. Some damage, special attack drop. It's not Clear Amulet. Volt Switch going to come out on the Flutter, which is fine. Okay, what's the last? Because the last is going to be pretty valuable. Because if it's Urshifu, next turn I can Icy Wind Thunder potentially to Ursh, and that would be huge. It is Urshifu back. Okay. Can we land a Thunder into Cali? If we land a Thunder into Cali, that's amazing here. So here's the Thunder into Cali. Ah, oh, just barely missing the knockout. They Trick Room though. Why did they Trick Room? Hold up, why did you Trick Room? I'm trying to understand the Trick Room. I don't understand the Trick Room. Why didn't they just Glacial? Okay. Maybe they thought I was going to go Groudon. I think they expected me to go Groudon to Kyogre slot. So they Volt Switch to Flutter to break Sash. And then they got Trick Room up so they can Glacial Surging. Okay, that... I mean, I kind of understand it, actually. But that actually works out huge in my favor, because now a Groudon under Trick Room. Precipice Blades is looking pretty good. I just got to get some damage off into these two, specifically the Urshifu. So We're gonna go for Moonblast into Miraidon. We're gonna go for Thunder into the Urshifu. They can't knock out my Kyogre in one shot with the Miraidon. Are you Sash Urshifu is gonna be a good question. You're not. Okay, yeah. So I get the KO on Urshifu. Urshifu goes down. I had to slow Kyogre that was bulky with a Resurface, so I was pretty chill there. We're gonna see a Dazzling Gleam come out, and I was able to knock out my Flutter Mane and chip my Kyogre. But now my Groudon should be able to win, and even my Kyogre is in a good shape to win, actually. A Light Screen wears off. I mean, I can lose this end game. I can. But come on, we have wide lens Precipice Blades as well, man. Like, are we really missing here? Please. Ice Beam plus the Precipice Blades. As Ice Beam, decent damage. That's probably Solvus Miraidon confirmed. We do get the Precipice Blades off, and that will take the KO. So I understand their Trick Room play now that I thought about more, but it just did not work out for them because, yeah, I knew that I had an obvious Ground switch, but at the same time, I was like, okay, Terra Electric is just such a safe play, but they didn't have the information on that. So they made the information of, okay, it's a safe play to go Groudon in most cases and power up the Flutter Mane and get Trick Room up, most likely, because he probably will have a faster Flutter Mane that I have to deal with. But nope, I was just able to really just put on a good amount of offensive pressure in the Trick Room with the Kyogre. All right, we have Chi-Yu, Groudon, Raging Bolt, Calyx Ice Rider, Flutter Mane, and Wellspring Ogerpon. All right. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Okay. I actually do like Slither Wing here, unironically, because first impression's actually pretty good against this team. My only problem is their Flutter Mane's actually kind of problematic. Do I bring Groudon on this? I feel like the answer is yes. Am I bring Wo-Chien though? Because I want to bring... Maybe it's like... I'm trying to think about this. I kind of want to do Slither Wing Groudon, which is not a bad combination. I think in the back, Kyogre and Wo-Chien. Man, I want to bring Flutter in this matchup because Flutter is nice, but I want the ground resist, which is Wo-Chien, and I need the Kyogre around. Yeah, my Raging Bolt doesn't do anything against their Raging Bolt, so it's kind of not great. All right, this is gonna be a tough one. They're definitely bringing Wellspring Ogerpon. They're bringing the Groudon. They definitely bring Kali Ice, and then last mon, I think maybe they don't bring Flutter. Maybe they bring Raging Bolt. I mean, I do have 3 Fairy Weeks. That's the problem. I don't think they bring Chi-Yu, but we'll see here. We will see. I'm hoping first impression can go crazy though. We're gonna see the combination. They do lead Wellspring Ogerpon plus the Kali Ice. Wait, this is actually really good for me. This is very good for me. Okay. Are you... There's no way you're Fire Terra Kali Ice on a Sun team. I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp into the Kali Ice, and I'm just going to first impression immediately. If they go for Protects, that's fine. I'll U-turn Wisp the next turn. If they decide to do anything else, that's acceptable too. But right now, looking like a pretty good spot to get a Wisp off. So if I get this Wisp off, it's absolutely huge for setting up my end game. Because getting rid of Kali Ice as a threat that can Glacial Lance a lot of my team is very good. Look, here's what they do here. Double Protect, I think, is the safest play that they have to scalp, but we'll find out. Spiky Show comes out from Ogerpon. This should also be from the Kali. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Woodhammer should never KO Groudon, I think. Do I want to Terrasilize Groudon, though? That's my question. Because if I Terrasilize Groudon, it's weird. I either Terrasilize Groudon or I Terrasilize Wo-Chien. What gives me the better value? It's not to say. I definitely live a Woodhammer, but the rest is weird. I think I'm definitely going to Will-O-Wisp, and I'm going to U-turn, though. Okay, let's see what they decide to go for. I should live 1 Woodhammer guaranteed, though, from the Ogerpon 100%. And then I get the Wisp off. I bring out Wo-Chien, I suppose. The rest is going to be confusing, but I think I can manage. Let's see. Let us see. I wonder if they're going to try Terrasilize or not. Follow Me is amazing because my Slither Wing is faster than Groudon. Okay, we get a U-turn off. That should KO with Life Orb easily. Yep, we KO the Wellspring Ogerpon. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, Slither Wing, you have already done more job than I've expected you to do. You've done the one job I really needed you to do, actually. We're going to go Wo-Chien here. And this should be nice. We land a Wisp, which is, I mean, it's White Lens Wisp. It's very, very unlikely to miss here. So we get the Wisp off into Cali. Better not be the Lumberry set. Good. It's just Glacial. We'll eat that up easily. Beautiful. They crit my Groudon. That's acceptable. Okay. So they're going to bring out their own Groudon next, or are they going to bring something else in? Like, Chi-Yu can't sweep in this position because I could just go to Kyogre. They're bringing their own Groudon, right? Well, here's the thing. I get a free attempt to go for a Willis and a Protect here. If you decide, hey, I'm going to go for a Terra. I mean, Kyogre's just sweeping your team then, and then you can't Terrasilize the rest of your team. So, I mean, I don't really care if you Terra Fire with the Groudon anyway. But if you do not Terra, you're getting burned, and then that's pretty bad. So you have to... There's also the decision that I have of going for Precipice Blades versus Wisp here. And very tricky for them. They could Protect, but like even if they Protect, they don't really get too much out of the turn. You do see a Terra, so this is probably Terra Fire Groudon. Oh, they Terra to Cali at this late in the game? Okay. Water Terra. Sure. I mean, does this Protect? Wo-Chien protected, so it's at least faster than Groudon if that's the information. No, he crashed. Did I get the Wisp off? Okay, perfect. I don't know why they Terran in that situation. I guess they were fearing like a special Groudon maybe. They go for a Trick Room, but at this point, it's not looking good for them. Not looking good for them at all. I have gotten a burn on both their restricteds. I guess the only thing that's a bit tricky is going to be the what's it called, the Raging Bolt back, but that's fine. I think at this point I just swap into Kyogre and I go for Terrasization. I go for a Leech Seed and get some recovery from either of these mons. I'm gonna target down the Calyx Ice Rider because a Groudon I'm gonna most likely be wanting to switch the next turn after I bring in my Kyogre. So this is looking pretty good. Now that I've gotten the burns, I don't need my Terrasalization too much anymore in this match. So I'm going to go for the Wo-Chien because of the fact that it does help me here. Let's see what is going to happen. Because I imagine this is just Blades Glacial. They could Heat Crash, which is fine. Because I can Pollen Puff the next turn. You go for Glacial. This is not going to do anything. Tablets of Ruin. Burn. Yeah, did 30 damage to Wo-Chien. Crit my Kyogre for 20 as we get the Leech Seed off. Okay, Wo-Chien's faster than Groudon, so it might be speed ties with my Kyogre, Wo-Chien, and their Groudon, but probably unlikely. Precipice Blade's going to come out. Does really no damage. Okay. I think I just spam Leech Seed with my Wo-Chien because Wo-Chien's not threatened by a knockout at all. And then I'm just going to spam Origin Pulse because they don't have a switch. I mean, if they switch into Raging Bolt, I mean, that's fine. I don't need to Pollen Puff my Kyogre yet because it's not like anywhere near fearful of getting knocked out here, even if it's Seed Bomb Cali. So we Origin Pulse, we go for Leech Seed into the Groudon. And we slow down the momentum. I guess if they protect Groudon and switch on to Raging Bolt, but they're still in kind of such an awkward position. And I'm pretty sure Raging Bolt can take the knockout on Kyogre because I can Pollen Puff. And yeah, we're going to see the Groudon switch out. This is probably the Raging Bolt. The Raging Bolt on the timer now with Leech Seed and Origin Pulse. But then again, I guess we got to land moves. Glacial Land's going to come out. Doesn't do too much. We miss. I would have preferred hitting the Raging Bolt over to Cali, but I guess that's acceptable. Do we hit the Leech Seed? Citrus Berry Cali. Okay. Don't know why, but sure. We get the Leech Seed. Okay, beautiful. All right, and then we get a bunch of recovery from this turn. Then they're gonna go out into probably the Groudon, click Thunderbolt. If they want to read my Kyogre switching and go for Draco Meteor, that's fine. But yeah, they don't really have too much I'm worried about at the moment. I'm going to switch out Kyogre, go out into Groudon, and I'm just going to Leech Seed the Calyrex, calling the Groudon switch. This should be Groudon and Thunderbolt. There's no reason to let your Cali Ice get super weakened, get the sun up, go for your Thunderbolt or Thunderclap or whichever move you want to click. Maybe you go for a Draco Meteor into Kyogre, which is fine too. We do see the Cali Ice switch out. I'm pretty sure Wo-Chien will live a Thunderbolt and Sun. I think so. It has good Spadef. And we're at 75. It's not like we're low. If it was Terra Electric, we would probably get blown back. But I feel like with no Terra, it's not. Retreat the Kyogre so we can have weather control. Bring out our Groudon. And avoid the electric move. Slither Wing's actually looking good to clean up in the back too. Weather Ball. Oh, we have faced this team before. It was Citrus Berry with Weather Ball. I don't remember it, if it's the same player or not, but I mean, this works out. We get the Leech Seed off. We're looking pretty good here. We're looking pretty good. Is Weather Ball the right play? I mean, Weather Ball 100 base power, 115 Sun. Oh yeah, it's more stronger than Thunderbolt. Yeah, it is. Barely. But I mean, the Leech Seed is just adding up at this point. Yeah, not like much that they could do here. Not looking like much they can do here. Do I want to double out here. I'm going to double out into Kyogre and I'm just going to protect. Do they make a hard Thunderbolt read? Even if they make the hard Thunderbolt read, like I don't even think it benefits them. They might Weather Ball my Kyogre slot. It also didn't look like no, they could have swapped out the Groudon. They should double out the Groudon here. Yeah. Into Calyrex, but that's fine. I'm guessing they went for the KO on a Wo-Chien, or I mean, you can't really do that because you can't let Groudon get a Precipice Blades off, right? You kind of have to target the Groudon slot. Yeah, they did. Perfect. Fire eats that. That was a crit. I was about to say that did more than expected, but yeah, it's a crit. Okay. How much do I need Kyogre around to win the game? Not really, right? I don't think I do. I'm worried about playing this sloppy. That's why. I don't think Thunderclap would be close to KOing. I'm just worried if they Thunderclap KO Kyogre and get a Leech Seed or get a Trick Room off. I guess I could go Slither Wing and I still have tools, so it's not like that bad. But yeah, I'm gonna go for an Ice Beam, I guess, into the Raging Bolt, and I'm gonna Leech Seed. I mean, the Raging Bolt would be low anyway, even if they get the Thunderclap off, right? So it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for Ice Beam and Leech Seed. They could Thunderclap, but even if they Thunderclap, it's not that beneficial. Also, they didn't Thunderclap, so they just lose the game 100% because I get the Ice Beam KO into the Raging Bolt. Beautiful. Maybe they expected me to double out to cover for the weather, but at this point, like, if I get KOs, I think it's like a better position. And yeah, there's like so many plays that I had access to at this point because I was like super up on Mons, so I don't think they had the best access to it. So very nice, as we are going to be able to stall out the Cali Ice for a bit, and then what do I want to do? It's probably just, do I want to sack Groudon? I could go Slither Wing, I suppose. Yeah, Slither Wing makes sense actually, because I resist Precipice Blades and I'm not taking that much from Glacial. We're gonna go Slither Wing here, and we're gonna protect our Wo-Chien. They're probably gonna forfeit because, like, let's be real, they have double burn Pokemon. I still have healthy Groudon, healthy Wo-Chien. I have Pollen Puff access too. Yeah, like it was pretty cooked there at that point. Like they could not win. So very nice. Slither Wing, you did the one job I needed to. Get rid of that Ogre Pond Wellspring. You did that job. You could have cleaned up the end game, but unfortunately, my opponent forfeited before that opportunity happened. All right, we have Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Rillaboom, Zamazenta, Incineroar, Tornadus, and the Raging Bull. It's basically a standard Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Zamazenta team. It really reminds me of Kinagawa team, but it's the Smeargle over, or the Incin over the Smeargle slot. What do I want to do here? Because Groudon's not really that great here. Well, it is good against Raging Bolt, I suppose, but that's really it. I do have Flutter, which does put on a lot of pressure immediately. It does put on a lot of pressure against like these Pokemon. So Groudon Flutter is a lead I could go for. Wo-Chien is tempting, but Body Press does a lot. I guess Fairy Terastallization could help here. But you know what? This might be a Slither Wing game. This might be a Slither Wing game, no cap. I think it is. I actually think it is. You know what? I'm doing Flutter Groudon, which I think is an okay lead. I don't know if they're leading Zamazenta or if they're leading the Shadow Rider. Either are fine. Bring Slither Wing in the back and Kyogre. Yeah, I want to bring Slither Wing because of the Rila, which is a threat, but also like if they lead Shadow Rider and I can force a Terastallization from the Shadow Rider into Dark, first impression could catch them really off guard. So let's see if we can accomplish that. We're gonna see the Zamazenta plus the Shadow Rider. Ooh, this is an interesting lead. Okay. So I don't know if they know the team. My best play is just to Wisp the Zamazenta, make sure that thing is slowed down immediately. What am I doing against this Calyrex? I kind of want to protect. I kind of want to protect because I want to scout for like, I mean, there's like a lot they could do here, but I like the idea of just protecting and wisping because unless they make a crazy play of Astral Barrage Body Press, which unless you know the team and know that Flutter Mane doesn't have Shadow Ball, I think that's such an insane play. I think I'm going to wisp the Zamazenta and protect here. Their plays are very awkward because Terastallization is not easy for them. I think they protect Shadow Rider and Heavy Slam immediately. But let's see. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Heavy Slam into Flutter. Beautiful. All right, awesome. That makes so much sense too because you can't really risk a Shadow Ball turn one. Land a Wisp. Beautiful. Now Zamazenta is no longer a huge threat. Okay, now I can go for Moonblast Heat Crash into the Shadow Rider. Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Moonblast Heat Crash pretty much gets every target I want. The only thing it doesn't hit is the Instant, unironically. But I think that's an okay trade-off. I don't even know if they brought Instant in this matchup. I feel like if you bring Instant, it's kind of weird because I feel like the Mon should be like better answers to Kyogre. But let's see. I am going to go for Heat Crash and a Moonblast. They switch out, which makes sense. Real perfect. Perfect. Because they tried to Grassy Glide follow up the next turn, but I'm not letting that happen. So here's a Moonblast into the Rilla. Good damage. A Body Press reading a Switch or Terastallization. As Heat Crash gonna come out and knock out the Rilla. So Rilla goes down. Beautiful. That is incredible. These have been incredible turns. Absolutely incredible turns. Now we just got to make sure that we can still push the advantage. So this is Calyrex coming back in. Yep. Are they going to play passive or what? I think I'm just going to... I think I'm going to double up this Shadow Rider. I think they probably attack on the aggressive here, and I think that's fine. And even if they make the protect play, I got my burn already, so there's not really much that I need to capitalize on. But we get the Moonblast off into the Shadow Rider. Special attack drop is pretty nice because my Groudon's going to be able to take the attack much better. Flutter Mane is going to go down to Sash anyway. Or not. It's not Sash Shadow Rider. Or it's not Life Orb Shadow Rider. So I do get the Moonblast I mean, my Groudon's healthier. I get the Heat Crash off into the Calyrex, which should pick up the knockout. Yeah. I think I just win here. What were the remaining mons? Incineroar, Raging Bolt, and Corn. Corn just auto loses them the game because they can't do much. Incineroar just loses them the game. I'm gonna go out into my Kyogre, I suppose. Yeah, because if it's Bolt, I want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of the, what's it called? The Sun, so they don't get photosynthesis, unless it's booster energy, but it's not booster energy, so this is perfect. What's the best way to guarantee to win here? I think it's doubling up the Bolt. Do I have a reason to terrestrialize anything? I could Terra Electric the Kyogre. I could also save Terra for my Slither Wing, because it'd be funny, because I don't even think I need terrestrialization really to win this game. They haven't Terra'd their side of the field yet, but it's probably Terra Electric Bolt. Yeah, so I'm just gonna Precipice Blades and go for a Ice Beam, because even one hit from Bolt won't pick up the knockout into Kyogre. They're actually gonna forfeit the game. I think I just got him like super hard on like the first couple of turns. I mean, I guess I did kind of play aggressive, but I mean at the same time, like, you kind of have to play pretty scared of a Flutter Mane in Sun, especially as a Shadow Rider lead with no redirection. So the fact that I was just able to capitalize, Call to Protect turn 1, get the switch on turn 2, like, I just was able to push the momentum for the first 3 turns, and it just really showed. All right, we have Groudon, Lunala, Incineroar, Rillaboom, with Flutter Mane and the Wellspring Ogerpon. Okay, this is an interesting matchup. Quite a few different things that I could approach this with. The Groudon's really tough. I do have a Solvus Kyogre with Wo-Chien, which is actually an interesting pairing here. I might have to terrestrialize my Wo-Chien in this matchup, which I'm not like the biggest fan of, but I think I might have to. Wellspring Ogerpon is also super difficult now that I think about it, because there's not much I can do against Wellspring. Flutter's nice. Groudon is weird, because I can Wisp, but that's not like super helpful. I actually like Slither Wing because I can go for first impression against like the grass types, which is actually kind of big. I think I'm gonna lead the Kyogre Wo-Chien. I think that's fine. I think terrestrialization is going to come into you. I think Flutter in the back is probably... I could lead Flutter too. That's what I'm also tempted to do. Like, if I lead Flutter, it puts on a lot of offensive pressure. You know what? Wo-Chien, Flutter Mane, Slither Wing, Kyogre back. I think that's fine. Because if I force the Groudon to terrestrialize, it'll be weak to Kyogre in the upcoming turns, which is actually really big. So I think that's 100% worth it. Daily, Lunala, and Flutter Mane. Okay. Versus Flutter Mane and my Wo-Chien. I kind of wish I let Kyogre instead, but I guess this isn't too bad. I have a few things that I can do here. I kind of want to scout for like what sets they are. So I think I'm just going to double protect to see if they might fear terrestrialization. Or, okay. Or they might terrestrialize fearing Shadow Ball. So we do see a terrestrialization from my opponent's part. Going to be the Lunala into the Fairy. Fairy Terra, yep. Okay, that makes sense. So Icy Wind is pretty good. Icy Wind Ruination or Icy Wind Leech Seed seems pretty solid here. We will get the Protect from the Wo-Chien, scout for what they're clicking. I want to see if I could catch a Meteor Beam. They go for Taunt and a Wo-Chien immediately. That makes sense. And they're going to go for an attack. Oh, you Calm Mind. Calm Mind is going to make this rough. Okay. I don't know if I can break through Calm Mind. I'll try, but it's looking really bad already. I'm just gonna Ruination and Icy Wind. If they protect, that's okay because I still get the Icy Wind off into the Flutter at the very least. They might Icy Wind themselves though, because if they Icy Wind, this is... Yeah, this is not good. This Lunala part is... Oh, and I missed the Icy Wind. Come on. That's so bad. That's so bad. Oh. I will go for one more commitment. Hopefully they Moongeist Beam and Moonblast. They should realistically just taunt and go for Moongeist Beam. I think I just lose, I think, off this. If I need a chance, I need to hit Icy Wind on Flutter too. Hey, Icy Wind though. Okay, wait, hold on. Maybe I have a chance. Because I'll get a Leech Seed into the Lunala so it can't stick around on the field forever. I say Terastallization for a Mind Game. It did Moonblast my Flutter, okay. Instead of Moongeist Beam. I don't think that KO'd, but sure. Okay. You do get the Leech Seed. You do get the Leech Seed. That is actually a pretty massive Leech Seed. Because it means the Lunala's staying power is very, very low here. Because now I can go for Ruination into swap into Kyogre. So we're going to Fairy Terra Ruination and we're going to go Kyogre. Because we need to try and clear this Lunala. Also, we can save Groudon, or we can save Fluttermane to deal with the Groudon later. I really wish we broke the Sash on their Fluttermane, but I guess this isn't the worst. Okay. I'm still fighting by a hair, but I really thought this was over already. But I'm really glad they didn't go for the Taunt Moongeist Beam. We are going to be able to Terrastallize our Wo-Chien, so if they go for double Fairy type attacks, they'll survive the hits. You go for Icy Wind again, which is perfectly acceptable. I'm guessing they doubled up the Kyogre again with Moongeist Beam this time. You get a crit on Wo-Chien. Unfortunate, but whatever. They did Moongeist Beam this time. Perfect. Yeah, Kyogre is just taking it so well. And Ruination. So, alright, this Lunala is getting low, which is good. Which means it's less likely to stay on the field, I think, overall. And if it does stay on the field, it's not really doing too much. So do I want a Pollen Puff or what? I could Ruination Ice Beam, threaten a knockout into the Groudon slot, but I don't know if that's worth it here. I think if Kyogre gets too low, it's not great. So I think I'm going to Pollen Puff the Kyogre slot. And I think we always Ice Beam the Flutter. If they switch out the Lunala into Groudon, that's fine. I break the Sash on Flutter, so it's still not a bad net trade here. That should be Groudon, I'm assuming. Yep, that's fine. I guess it depends on what the Flutter did. Did it just Moonblast or did it taunt my Wo-Chien so I can't protect? But they can't knock me out with Flare Blitz, I'm pretty sure. Okay. They Moonblast the Kyogre. Okay, to get chip, but this is perfect. Special attack drop, sure, not the worst. I do get the Ice Beam off into the Flutter. Ooh, nice crit. I don't think it changed. I mean, it puts in range of Flare Blitz, which I guess is good. All right, I've healed back with the Wo-Chien, which is super solid. We are going to go for a Leech Seed. Can they even knock out my Kyogre? Can I go for Ruination plus I think I want to go well, they could if they have close combat. Yeah, I don't know if this is Clear Amulet or if this is Life Orb. On this team I feel like it should be Life Orb. I think the Kyogre switch is obvious. You should take advantage of that. I don't think Flare Blitz is a play in a Wo-Chien, but we'll see. I think my play here is just to go for a Leech Seed into the Groudon and swap into Flutter. Because I don't want them to catch the Flutter on the switch with like a Flame Charge and then I'm in an awkward spot. But I also think the Wo-Chien Protect is obvious, but we'll see. It might not be that obvious since I'm full HP though. It did Moonblast. This might be Moonblast Flare Blitz. Special attack drop is whatever. They did double. Oh, if I just protect, I'm in good shape. Wo-Chien's so good. Wo-Chien's so good. Here's a leech seed. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, 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 okay. We might have to go for the flutter speed tie though. We might have to go for a flutter speed tie. Do they have protect on the flutter? That's a good, or a shadow ball on the flutter, because that's a good question. If they don't have shadow ball on the flutter, it's an interesting spot. I don't go down to icy wind. The Groudon should always swap here. Do I go for a... I think I just Leech Seed again. I'm gonna Leech Seed and Moonblast the flutter. They retreat the Groudon, perfect. So I get Leech Seed recovery on whatever's coming in, unless it's Rilla, but then it's a... Oh, Ogerpon. Okay, that's fine. Okay, they went to speed tie, but the speed tie is not like too bad here because I do get the Moonblast off into the flutter, which is still pretty good. Because flutter goes down. All right. All right. We failed a Leech Seed, but that's acceptable. Dealing with the Ogerpon, we have the Slither Wing. So we can position Slither Wing. Slither Wing next to Fluttermane could win this endgame, but I gotta be cautious. Lunala coming in though. That's an interesting bring here. I kind of want to go Kyogre, but at the same time, I know it's risky. I think... Are they going to follow me, Moongeist Beam? I just don't know. I think my best play is just to Leech Seed and swap out into Kyogre. Because I get the speed back with the flutter, so I don't really need the sun. And also, I'll guarantee I'll be Groudon once it comes out. If they go for a grass attack, that's fine. I think it's just going to come down to some other parts. Okay, they follow me. Cool. As they go for Moongeist Beam, this is going to target down my Kyogre. Perfect. Doesn't do much damage. I do fail the Leech Seed, but that's acceptable. Okay. Do I need Wo-Chien in this endgame? I don't think I do. Well, here's the thing about Wo-Chien that makes this interesting. The Wo-Chien is allowing my Kyogre to survive a grass attack here. I could like protect an Origin Pulse. Yeah, there's no reason not to Origin Pulse, actually. Because unless they switch to Groudon, which is highly doubtful, I think they're attacking with Lunala, and I think that's the case. Let's see. This could be a double up in the Kyogre, though, but that's fine, too. The Ivy cudgeled my Wo-Chien. That's amazing. They call mine, though, but that makes sense. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That's fine. Please just hit the Lunala. Get the damage in Lunala. Okay, good. Almost gets the KO, but that is pretty low for the Moonblast into Flutter range, but I might need a little bit of help. However, I feel pretty good about this spot. I feel pretty good about this spot. I think I'm just going to Pollen Puff the Kyogre and go for Thunder into the Lunala. They probably just go for attacks here, which is fine. I'm just trying to make sure I don't lose both Pokemon here if I can help it. They keep... What? Do they not... I guess they don't have a grass move? Like, that's my only assumption here. And of course they crit. Okay. That's actually really annoying. Well, I guess if it was a grass move, it was a bad play that I made, but like... Huh? I'm just trying to figure out what that option... Okay. I go Slither Wing here, right? I do go Slither Wing. How fast the Lunala is going to be very impactful here. And I mean very impactful. We're going to go for a Leech Seed into the Lunala, and we're going to go for First Impression into the Lunala as well. If they double protect, it's going to come down to the speed interactions. The Lunala protects. The Ogerpon not protect. Oh my. I could have just KO'd the Ogerpon. I could have just KO'd the Ogerpon. They did not respect it. Heavy Cudgel. I need them to mess up and go for protect with the Ogerpon. Yeah, this is bad. Very, very bad. All right, gonna U-turn. They follow me. Oh, maybe the play was to switch out Wo-Chien. Okay, no, I'm slower. Okay, yeah, game over. Oh my goodness. If I did get Ivy Cudgel crit, because then I get the Thunder off, I KO Lunala, and then I can just like First Impression and set up for like a good end game. Oh my goodness. But then again, I took more from the Moongeist Beam than I thought, and I really thought they were going to follow me or they went for the attack. I guess like what? Should I have Leech Seed? Maybe I should have Leech Seed plus Thundered. I want to Pollen Puff in case they followed me again, because the way that they were playing was like, okay, I'm gonna follow me a bunch. It did not work out. Can I win this end game? Probably not. Probably not. They just click follow me and Moongeist Beam, and I think they're gonna target down the Flutter. Maybe if I get a Moonblast crit afterward, maybe I have a chance. I think it's super unlikely, but maybe. All right, Ruination into the Ogerpon. I just don't think I'm ever beating the Lunala in time, because I could technically beat it, but the problem is the Groudon's healthy. What if I do Icy Wind into Pollen Puff? No, because they follow me the Pollen Puff away. Yeah, I can't do much. Maybe if I crit the Pollen Puff into Ogerpon and get a double protect, maybe that's a chance. I'll go for it. I think it was my best odds, because if I Moonblast the Ogerpon, I go down anyway. So I think that was the correct play. Or trying to come back. Like, I think the game was over when I got crit by the... Wait, did they Moongeist Beam the wrong slot? Oh no, they targeted Flutter. Okay, yeah. Just Ivy Cudgel, man. I mean, there were like a few things that happened in this game, right? We had the Icy Wind dodge. We had the crit onto their Flutter with Ice Beam. Then we had the crit again. I guess I could have also protected the Wo-Chien. If I protected the Wo-Chien earlier, would have had like a lot more HP to work with. So like I could have actually just like gotten more damage into the Ogerpon in general, instead of like, oh, I play this weird game with the Lunala. But yeah. Otherwise, I think it was more on... I don't think Leech Seed and Lunala would have changed much. I think, I guess, First Impression, I really thought they were going to respect the First Impression from that and either double protect or maybe risk the Lunala there. And that's what I was capitalizing on, but didn't work out. Also, Slither Wing being slower than the Lunala, which means that Lunala actually had a pretty decent amount of speed. So that also didn't help. All right, we have Miraidon, Lunala, Ursaluna, Incineroar, Whimsicott, and Urshifu. Very strange matchup, for me at least. Well, I mean, it's for both, but like, it's kind of hard to decide of what I want to exactly do against this team. It's really tough. Is it Fluttermane Groudon angle? Fluttermane Groudon's kind of weird here because it's not like amazing in the Trick Room stuff. I mean, I do have Taunt Access with the Flutter, which I think I have to bring. Yeah, I'm going to bring Flutter. I think I have to bring Groudon lead because I need the Flutter Fast. Do I need Flutter Fast? It's helpful. Maybe I don't need... Well, the thing is, what would I have in the bag? I feel like I need Wo-Chien or I'm losing to Ursaluna. And Urshifu. Urshifu's a problem. I could do like... Yeah, this is tough. This is tough. I think it's Flutter, Groudon, Kyogre, Wo-Chien. As much as I do want to actually try to bring Slither Wing here, and I could see a case for Slither Wing because I could close combat, first impression. If they lead Whimsicott would be nice. I just don't know if they're bringing Whimsicott in this matchup. We'll see. I think they're definitely bringing Miraidon, Lunala. The question is what the last two are. Like, they could vary so much here. Miraidon, Whimsicott. Okay, so I could have led maybe Slither Wing. I went for a first impression, KO'd slot immediately, but I think this is okay. All right, I don't think they're gonna Tailwind here. I think you would probably just Volt Switch to Flutter and go for a... Unless you know the team. Unless you don't know the team, you could go for Draco. If you go for Draco, how bad is it? It's not the worst, but it's not great. But I think it's playable. So I think I'm just gonna Moonblast the... I'm just gonna Moonblast here, and the question, what am I doing with you? Am I Precipice Blade or am I going for like a read here? I think I Heat Crash the Whims. I feel like this is Light Screen. Oh, it's not specs like the NIC winning team. Okay. Get Tailwind up. Okay, that makes it awkward. Moonblast gonna go into the Protected Miraidon. And Heat Crash will come out into the Whims. Is it Sash? Yeah, this might be Sash Endeavor. Then again, they can't Endeavor my Groudon immediately, so I guess that's not like awful. I'm just gonna go for spread moves at this point then. There's not really much I can do. Kyogre, I can't take an Endeavor. If they want to go for Encore, that's fine, because I at least get the Icy Wind off. What are they doing with the Miraidon? Volt Switch. Okay, so whatever's coming in is taking a Heat Crash plus an Icy Wind. It's Life or Miraidon, so that's good information to note. Whatever's coming in is taking an Icy Wind plus a Heat Crash. Incineroar? I don't know if he brought Incineroar against my team though. That is Lunala. Okay, I mean, I probably get the best damage because they actually went for the Encore. I think that Heat Crash actually does more, so I'll take it. I get the Icy Wind off. I get to lower the Lunala's speed, which is kind of weird. It's good for my Kyogre after Tailwind expires, but it's bad if Trick Room goes up. I can't really let Trick Room go up for free, so this is going to be awkward. We do get a Heat Crash into the Lunala. Not bad damage. So this is Miraidon coming back in. Yep. They can go for Draco just fine. I'm going to protect my Flutter always. Just all out turn Tailwind. I think I'm just going to go for a Heat Crash into the Lunala again. I don't really need Groudon to... I think last mom might be Ursaluna at this point, so I got to play cautiously. Go for Electro Drift into Flutter, which is fine. I'm guessing it's Moongeist Beam as well into the Groudon, which is cool by me. Yep, that's fine. My Groudon actually eats that up like really, really well. Heat Crash going to come out into the Lunala. Good damage. And I can't... Oh, the Lunala guaranteed. I think I can. I think if I get the double up here... I don't know if they're Dazzling Gleam. If they're Volt Switch and Electro Drift. Probably Draco Meteor last move, right? If that's the case, I should just attack the Lunala aggressively. Because I never want to trick them up. Yeah, they go for a Draco Meteor because that's the only way they can knock out Groudon. Which means I get a Moonblast off in the Lunala, and we got the Icy Wind off earlier, so it's -1 speed, which means my Flutter Mane in the Sun will outspeed the Lunala guaranteed. I guess I could have Moonblasted KO to the Miraidon, but if they got Trick Room up and next to Ursaluna, I was just gone. Like, I think it would have just been a lost cause at that point. Okay, so now Miraidon's locked in at -2. The Tailwind peters out, which is really good. I'm actually going to go in a Wo-Chien first because I want to see what their last mon is. Urshifu, okay. So in order to outspeed my Flutter, you have to go for a... Okay, so this is perfect, I think, because I get to Moonblast the Ursh. And I can go for a Leech Seed into the Ursh as well. Well... I think I Terra, right? No, I do Terra this. It's the last turn of Electric Terrain, so after that it's -2 Miraidon. I shouldn't do too much. Yeah, I think I Moonblast and I go for Leech Seed into Ursh. Because in order for Ursh to avoid getting knocked out, they need to Terra it. They do Terra to Ursh, okay. I wasn't sure if they're going to Terra to Ursh or Terra to Miraidon. They're going to lock into Terra Water. Endgame spooky, but I think it's playable. Okay. I'm hoping they protect a Miraidon, but we'll see. We will Terra Fairy or Wo-Chien. I feel like close combat would have been deadly here. They do protect a Miraidon, but they didn't. They definitely... Did they lock into close combat? Did they lock into Surging? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Also, that did more damage than I thought. They locked into Surging. That's not good. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Oh, this might be a mistake, actually. This might be a mistake. I think it depends on how much Miraidon's doing damage-wise to my team. Because they are -2 and Electric Terrain disappeared. I think the Terra Fairy actually messed me up. I was really hoping that they would lock in the CC, KO the Wo-Chien, and then go off a speed tie when the sun expired. But maybe they're... I mean, I feel like life could be modest or timid. I have to water... not Order Most. I have Water Spout here. And I Pollen Puff. They should Surging the... Hey, why did they Electric Drift you? Oh, wait. No, it should be Banded Ursh, right? Unless they're just Sash. If they're Sash, this is fine. They Surging the Wo-Chien. Okay, perfect. Maybe they thought I was just going to Ice Beam the Miraidon, but because I get the Water Spout off, I get the KO into the Ursh, I get chip damage to the Miraidon, and then Ice Beam will win. I have no idea what the Ursh set is. If they had Protect, I could have lost too. But I think it's like really likely they Protect because I had the Leech Seed available, so they were going to take the offensive initiative while they could. So I do get the Water Spout. I KO the Ursh. Miraidon's left alone. I think it's just going to come down to Electric Drift Crit because they're out of terrain. -2 special attack. As long as Kyogre gets the Ice Beam off, I do win the game. Should be fine, I think. Let's see. It's really going to come down to the Miraidon. Electric Drift comes out. Doesn't crit me. Also, because it wasn't a 2-shot on Kyogre, I made the best play possible. Even if they Electric Drifted previously, the Water Spout still knocked out Ursh. I still got the chip damage to Miraidon, and they still needed a crit with the Miraidon to KO my Kyogre. So I did make the best possible like route, assuming no crits. But yeah. Okay, perfect. Wasn't too sure there, but luckily was able to put on a really good end game scenario just fine. The fact that I was just able to pile the damage on Lunala was really nice. And even though it wasn't Ursaluna, it was Urshifu instead. Luckily, I got enough damage to pressure it. Also, like, I think if it was Sash Ursh, which I don't think it was, I'm pretty sure it is Choice Band Terra Water. Because if you had Sash Ursh, you would have just Aqua Jetted previously. I'm pretty confident in it. Instead of Terra Watering. Miraidon, Calyx Ice Rider, Farigiraf, Urshifu, Volcarona, and Iron Hands. Okay, this is a pretty standard build. How do I want to approach this one? Man, this Slither Wing would be actually pretty nice here if I was able to first impression through a lot of the build. Weather Ball on Miraidon. Well, this doesn't impress me. Raging Bolt doesn't impress me since I don't have Draco Meteor. I will be bringing Kyogre I bring Wo-Chien in this matchup? Probably. I think I do bring Wo-Chien in this matchup. I kind of want to just go with like Groudon plus... Flutter is nice. Flutter is nice. Are they leading Groudon? I mean, not Groudon. I feel like it's Miraidon leading with either Cali Ice or Farigiraf. I'm trying to debate about which one it is because that's going to be an important factor. I think Groudon Flutter is a pretty good threat lead, but I'm not 100% certain. I think I'm just going to do Groudon Flutter with Wo-Chien and Kyogre back. I think this is still a pretty safe lead in general for the most part, mainly because I have the option to go for like Icy Wind Precipice Blades. I have the option to Will-O-Wisp immediately, go Wo-Chien. I have quite a few options, so let's see what they decide to go for here. Going to be the Calyx and the Miraidon, so this is not too surprising. Okay. As I do lead Groudon plus the Flutter. There's a lot of things that could go here. There could be Draco Meteor. They could Terra and go for Dazzling Gleam. There's a lot of plays that they have access to. I kind of like the Will-O-Wisp option into the Cali Ice for sure. The question is, do I want to Icy Wind or not? I feel like no, because I don't outspeed the Miraidon. I don't have a switch to Draco, unfortunately. It's kind of a weird lead. I think I'm just going to Will-O-Wisp to Calyx if they give me the opportunity to. And I Trick Room or do I Taunt? I don't mind a Trick... Do I mind a Trick Room goes up? Kinda, because Iron Hands is a problem. Yeah, I'm going to double up the Cali with Taunt Will-O-Wisp. We do see a Terrasization. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. It's going to be the Calyx Ice Rider. Shouldn't be Fire on this team. Yeah, it's Water. Okay. So this works out fine. I'm able to get a Wisp off into Cali. And let's see what they decide to go for here. So I will Taunt. I wish I Moonblasted the Miraidon, but if we do deny Trick Room, it's good. They do Volt Switch my Flutter. I imagine this is like either Volt Switch Glacial or Volt Switch Trick Room, and I imagine this is like Iron Hands. That's what I would imagine here. Oh, Volcarona. Okay, interesting. That's perfectly fine for me, actually. Nice. We land the Will-O-Wisp into the Cali Ice, so that Cali Ice is now burned. Incredible. Also, it's either Scarf... No. It could be Scarf Miraidon, I suppose. It's either Scarf or Assault Vest. They did go for a Will-O-Wisp, which is fine. As the Flutter Mane will go down here, but now I get my Kyogre in. And I think I just go for Precipice Blades Thunder because they have no switch into that. Yeah, I'm going to go Kyogre. And Precipice Blades Thunder should pick up the knockout, I think, into the Calyx. I'm not sure if the Volcarona is really going to bother Rage Powdering. I think I'm going to go for Precipice Blades and I'm going to go for Thunder. I don't see a reason not to, because if I do get the KO into the Calyx, it's just huge. And we'll see. They go for a Will-O-Wisp. They Will-O-Wisp my Groudon though. Okay, that's not as great. I still think I get the KO because we're in electric terrain, but we'll see, I suppose. We do land the Precipice Blades. I guess I could have Terra Fire, but I want to save the Terra Electric for my Kyogre. I just barely missing the knockout again. As I get a Glacial, this is going to hurt Groudon more. Yeah. You had to crit the Kyogre too. Okay. This is still acceptable. This is still acceptable. I want Calyx to stay alive this turn, so I get the free threat with Old Pulse. I'm going to go out into Wo-Chien here. And... this is where it gets tough. I think we just Water Spout here. Yeah, Water Spout should still knock out the Volcarona. Maybe if they Struggle Bug, it's a bit different, but let's see. I think it's it could be Struggle Bug, no Protect, but I imagine it's Fire Move, Rage Powder, Will-O-Wisp, and either Protect or Struggle Bug. Hey, Protect. That's okay, cool. I do get the Water Spout off into the Calyx, which will pick up the knockout. Wo-Chien is around, and I still have my Groudon to sack when necessary. I really have to plan around the Urshifu though. I don't know if Urshifu is going to come in though immediately. If they do, it's kind of an interesting spot. But let's see. Groudon comes in. Okay. So I will have to Terrasilize here. The question is, what am I going for? I definitely Terra Electric the Kyogre. Do I Ruination Ice Beam here? Or do I Pollen Puff my Kyogre and just Origin Pulse? Which is also a fine play. I could also Leech Seed the Miraidon and Origin Pulse to Volcarona, which isn't a bad play either. There's a lot that I have access to. It did Terrasilize already, so I don't have to worry about Terrasilization. I think we Pollen Puff, we Terra Water, Origin Pulse. They retreat Volcarona, so what's coming in for the Volcarona slot? Is this Ursh? Iron Hands is fine, okay. So I'm okay with this because I get an Origin Pulse, and then next turn I can go for Ruination Origin Pulse depending on what the Miraidon locks into. If they went for Volt Switch, this is perfectly acceptable because Volcarona will go down. If they decide, hey, I'm going to do something else, that's fine by me as well. Like Dazzling Gleam Draco Meteor, that's fine too. Snarl. Oh, that's not one I like, actually. That is not one I like. Okay. So I do get the Pollen Puff off into the Kyogre. We do land the Origin Pulse, which is good. Okay. I don't do much damage to Iron Hands, though. Yeah, I'm seeing a very tough time of breaking through the Iron Hands. And I mean a very tough time of breaking through this Iron Hands. We're just going to keep firing off damage, I suppose. I think they're probably going to just... I think you go for the attack on the Wo-Chien, but they might fake out Snarl again. But I don't think you should, because that gives me opportunities to go for Ruination twice into your Iron Hands, and I think that would be bad for you. So let's see what they decide to go for here. As we get the Ruination off, or we get the Origin Pulse off, which is good. They went for Drain Punch. Okay, excellent. And Electric Terrain disappears, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is perfect. They don't have the... They don't have the terrain, which means I can actually survive hits. I can go for like a Leech Seed into Iron Hands. I think we just spam Origin Pulse realistically, because Miraidon's not doing any damage. Like if you Snarl, yeah, you're reducing the damage of my Kyogre, but you're not doing any... You're not doing big damage to my Wo-Chien, which is huge. We land a Leech Seed. Beautiful, because the longer Iron Hand stays in, the more health I'm going to get recovered. And we keep getting the Origin Pulses, so nice. Okay. This is actually pretty comebackable. Drain Punch. Good damage to my Wo-Chien, but that's acceptable. Rain stops, but that's fine. As Wo-Chien is going to get a lot of recovery. I think my best play is to switch out Kyogre, sack my Groudon at this point, and protect the Wo-Chien. So next turn I can go for Ruination plus a Origin Pulse and Rain with the special attack reset from my Kyogre, and then the Rain is reset as well. I like that. They retreat the Miraidon, so this works out pretty well for me. Volcarona coming in. Yep. Next turn, my Origin Pulse and Ruinations are super threatening to them. And they can't redirect the attacks either because of the fact that Wo-Chien, of course, is a grass type. So this is looking pretty good because Groudon's guaranteed to faint because of the burn. So the burn actually is going to help me from earlier, as we will protect our Wo-Chien, make sure that Wo-Chien sticks around on the field as they go for a Drain Punch into the Wo-Chien once again. Beautiful. And now we get Ruination Origin Pulse off, and we put a lot of pressure into the Miraidon, because if it switches in, it's going to be close if I knock it out, I think. This is like a bit above 50, right? Ruination to Origin Pulse, and they didn't get a special attack drop this time. So this is looking actually pretty good. As Groudon does go down to the burn, but that's exactly what we wanted. We will now get our free switch to Kyogre and threaten I guess I could go for Water Spout too, because there's no... Giga Drain's not going to do anything. Water Spout's more powerful actually right now. Yeah, I just Water Spout here. It's also more accurate, so I don't have to go for it. Like, the reason I was never going for Water Spout was because I was worried that they would just drop a Draco Meteor randomly at one point. And now we can go for a Ruination and Water Spout, and Iron Hands is probably forced to switch out, but I don't know if you have enough turns. Groudon coming in. Let's see. Volcarona protects too, so it's... I mean, we knew it was probably not Struggle Bug at that point. Let's see if Ruination Water Spout can get the KO. Ruination will come out into the Miraidon. Let's see if Water Spout can do like that 25%. Maybe like 26, 27-ish. We do KO Miraidon. That's massive. Okay, I feel like we're in a game-winning spot then, because now I just go for Water Spout into Ruination, and then they can't stop me. So, nice. Wo-Chien was the call. It actually is doing super well here. I'm very happy about it. Okay. As Iron Hands comes out. At this point, there's no reason for us not to click Ruination Water Spout. Yeah, we Ruination and we not Origin Boost, Water Spout. Because Volcarona can't do anything. If they fake out my Kyogre, they take a Ruination, then I can Pollen Puff Water Spout the next turn. There's not much they can do. They fake out my Kyogre to buy a turn, and they Fiery Dance, which is fine. They're not doing any damage to my Wo-Chien in the rain because it has good Spadef. You get a special attack drop, but it's not like that big of a deal. We do land a Ruination, and I think that's like the final move I have to hit in this game, because now I just go for Pollen Puff Water Spout, and I'll guarantee the win because they don't have Terastallization. Wo-Chien will survive a critical hit, it looks like, at this range because of the rain, and there's no way they can do enough damage to Kyogre. So we go for Water Spout, we go for Pollen Puff, the game is over, and they realize that too and forfeit. So nice, nice. Wo-Chien slowing down the damage, and the Kyogre, it's so funny because normally I'm used to Kyogre just blowing up things, but I was kind of passively getting chip damage. They refuse to target Kyogre, but it makes sense because, like, if they decide, hey, I'm gonna Drain Punch the Kyogre or Low Kick the Kyogre, they're kind of in a passive limbo because the Tablets of Ruin is kind of slowing down the damage of the Iron Hands, and then I would just be able to Pollen Puff heal back all the HP back anyway, so they kind of had to target down the Wo-Chien. I was able to get like free hits off with Kyogre because of that, and yeah, Wo-Chien was just so bulky and able to stick around, so very nice. All right, let's go over to games. In game one, I am just shocked at how well Kyogre took that Astral Barrage, since it should be Choice Specs Terra Ghost on the Calc Shadow Rider, and it should be modest because I'm assuming since you have the Mouse Hold, it underspeeds the Mouse Hold, so you can go for Super Fang Astral Barrage, but I'm not exactly sure. Taking under 50%, like, there's something wrong with that calc, I think. Maybe they changed the team, but there's something wrong with that calc. But I was able to get an amazing start with the Terra Normal, Icy Wind, Origin Pulse, and it's just hard for my opponent to really break through my team at that point because, like, they had so much that they had to do, and my Groudon was pretty much just going to be able to wall the remaining Pokemon at that point. In game two, unfortunately failed to get the knockout into the Calyx with the double up, but thankfully they went for Trick Room instead, which actually helped out because I didn't take the damage, and then I was actually able to use their own Trick Room to my own advantage. In game three, Slither Wing on the board, eliminating the Ogerpon Wellspring form, which is one of the most problematic for this team, while I was able to burn all of my opponent's physical restricteds and slowly wear down their team and stall out the Trick Room. In game four, I was able to get the first 3 turns super correct as they played scared of my Flutter Mane, and I was just able to capitalize so much on the momentum where I was just able to get 2 knockouts really easily, and they couldn't really do much in the remainder. In game 5, a bit of a messy game, but went further than I thought after the terrible start, though if I had protected the Wo-Chien, I would have saved a lot of health, but the Ogerpon Wellspring was just super troublesome to remove, especially since they took a big risk with the Slither Wing and the Tarting, and it super paid off for them. In game 6, not what I expected to start the battle with, but I built some really good damage up at the start and had good trades, though the Urshifu was still scary, but Kyogre was in a great spot to win, assuming it does not get crit. In game 7, Wo-Chien was able to do a lot and dance around the Iron Hands, and they had to kind of tar down the Wo-Chien because the Kyogre was kind of walling at that point. I wasn't able to do much damage because of the normal Rhydon, but the Kyogre was just able to build up the damage across the board, and really it was just tough for them to break through the duo. So how was the team? It actually was way better than I expected. Like, I've tried a few games before, and when I was testing it, I felt like it was super strange with the text, but Kyogre Wo-Chien does make a lot of sense, especially for most of your game plans, because of the fact that it's able to do really well. We saw it do well in the Regulation G North American International Championship, getting a top 8 by Shiliang Tang, and the idea of Ruination, Pollen Puff for the support on the Kyogre is pretty impressive. The support Groudon did a lot better than I expected, and I guess at least since I had wide lens, I wasn't able to miss attacks, which, you know, could be a good thing. Maybe I could have had a better item if I hit my moves, but you never know. The Raging Bolt we never got to bring at all with the Weather Ball, but I feel like it's a little bit strange with the Covert Cloak, and a lot of Miraidons and opposing Raging Bolts out there make me not really want to bring the Raging Bolt as much, because I think the better mode is generally like the Flutter Mane, Wo-Chien, Groudon, Kyogre. Slither Wing, 1 out of 2. It wasn't bad. It did do really helpful things for that one win that we did get with it. The second one, maybe it was my fault as well, but it can be good or bad, I suppose. It's not the best one, so not bad results. Pretty happy with how the team performed. If you want to try out the team, the random code is on the screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time the video comes out. If you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, it'll be linked in the description down below. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.